Hello everyone, welcome to the Everything Dodgeball podcast. I'm your host, Stefan Leitinger, and today I start a new little mini-series before the Euros. It should be sort of a preview, especially for nations that are close to those top three nations like Northern Ireland, England and Austria, and nations that have always been very close to them, have had some very close final results against them, and are sort of creeping up to those top spots. So first up, I'm here with Zbynek Valek from the Czech Republic. See, how are you doing, man?
Hey, good morning, Stefan. Hi, everyone. I'm doing good. It was pretty late to announce that we're going to do the podcast yesterday, but hey, here we are. I'm hyped.
That is awesome. Yeah, that was very short notice, but luckily you were still awake. So we're going to start with Czechia. I sort of started with Scotland and with Scotty, but that wasn't part of the official one yet. But so we're going to start with you. See, tell me a little bit about your personal dodgeball history and also about how dodgeball in Czechia started. You've been around for quite a long time, so I think you're quite the right person to talk to.
Yeah, so I started in 2017, which there was the first Czech national tournament held in Brno in our city. Then my first international tournament was, I think, in 2018 in Newcastle. Is that right?
No,
Uh,
2018 was in Lignano in Italy. 2019 was Newcastle. Have you been to Italy?
so no, I haven't been to
Okay.
Italy. I've seen all those videos. It
Yeah.
must have been the best tournament, probably. But yeah, so my first was in Newcastle, and from that time I keep my place in the national team. In the last Euros and also Worlds, I was the captain of the men's team. The mixed team. And so yeah, that's how I started. That's how I'm going.
So which club do you play for?
I play for D Storm Brno, which is just team in Brno, the second biggest city of Czech Republic. I guess not most people are familiar with Czech Republic, so
They should be. So I think European dodgeball players should be familiar at this point. So basically, Czechia has been a quite strong nation since, actually, I think since Lignano, where the men's team, I think, came third in Italy. I think that was probably the best result from Czechia. At least that's how I remember it, that they came third or fourth. I don't know. I just remember a lot of partying afterwards. So at least by Radek. So I think they did quite well there. And then like Czechia has been always so close to that top three spots. I think you came in fifth in every division at Euros in Osijek. And then again at
yep, that's
Worlds,
right.
fifth, sixth, and I don't know, the women probably 11th or something because they lost to France. So you've always been very close to the top and always been a contender. We obviously played a lot of times against each other and there were a lot of close games. And in the league, you beat us once to a title. So tell me a little bit about the Czech history, like how the team progressed throughout those 7-8 years you've been a part of the dodgeball community.
So there's always those like base people that are keeping the team the same, but also of course there's a lot of new people. So by the time I started playing, there has still been like 4 or 5 people that kept playing from the beginning or the beginning of the dodgeball itself in Czech Republic. And but this year at the Euros in Limerick, we have a lot of new people. But don't get me wrong, they've been to Graz, but they were playing foam, which is a Czech main thing. So they have some experience in international tournaments. But right now, because of it's in Ireland and because of the financial situation of a lot of people, we have a lot of students. They are not able to get to Limerick, so it feels like we got people that had time and had the finance to get to Limerick. So this year there will be a lot of new people.
Mhm. And do you think you still bring a team that can contend for those top 5 spots, or what is the plan for dodgeball for Czechia this Euros?
Well, I don't want to sound too ambitious, but I think we can definitely still get to those top 5 places. I'm looking for the top 3, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I don't know what about the others, but definitely the higher hopes you get, the more energy you put into it. Like if you say I want to be top 8, then well, we got to top 8. Okay, that's easy, but top 3 is my goal.
All right, that's a good goal to have, and there are some other nations that probably want that as well. So there's going to be a lot of contention for that. So, how do you feel like the team is shaping up this year? Let's start with the men's team, and how is the preparation going for Limerick? Is there anything like you did different to the years prior?
Well, so the men's team is the team that has the most skilled people, like the ones that's been playing before in club category. So we probably know each other pretty well. We know what to expect from each other, and so the preparations just last weekend we had a huge session with all those people that should be going to Limerick, and uh, yeah, the biggest change is in women's team. So the men's are probably the same, and yeah, it's not easy for us to get together. Not like you guys from Vienna. The, most people are from one city. We are spread apart in the whole of Czech Republic, so getting together is not that easy. So I'm very happy that we managed to get together, and yeah, we are trying to individually get as much training, as much practice as possible. As I said, it's not easy because everyone is just spread apart in whole of Czech Republic. So yeah, we probably had like so this weekend and few months ago we had this meeting together and playing together because we don't see each other too often or play together too often.
Mm. And will you have another training session before Limerick, or is that it?
I think we plan to have one more,
Mm.
just like the Czech team, but also there is Vienna calling. So it's coming pretty fast, and this is one opportunity to train together, to play together, just to feel if something changed between our skills or our strategy tactics. And this will be the training. Yeah.
Yeah. That will be a good test. That's 2 weeks, I think 2 or 3 weeks before Euros. So that is going to be a good test, and it's going to be a high quality tournament, I feel like. So if the Czech national team, then we're going to have some American people, some English people that may not have gotten picked for the squad, but they will still bring a really strong team. So I think especially on the men's side, it's going to be a very competitive dodgeball game and a good preparation for you guys. So as you said, the financial situation is often a bit of a burden in dodgeball, especially if you have more students. Like it's been a big issue. It's been an issue on our side as well, especially in the past. Now our team is quite old, so most of the people make enough money to go to the tournaments. It's much more the hassle with time and families and stuff. But we also have
Well, after being students, it's more hustle about like your family and kids and work and all that stuff. So
yeah.
you, it's never like the gold time, the sweet spot to go in your
So it's
age.
never easy. The perfect thing to be a dodgeball player is to work very flexible and be single. Then you can play dodgeball as much as you want. But otherwise, it's going to be a hassle. So, do you have any financial support for the Czech team? Any sponsors or stuff, or any help from I don't know the state or something like that?
No, I don't think so. I've never heard about it. We might have some minor sponsors that are just probably going to donate like hat to us, but there is no financial help or any Kickstarter. No, we haven't done that.
Mm. Because I think that hopefully is going to be something for the future, because I see it now with the youth teams, especially when you have youth European championships in Spain, and maybe some of them can't afford that. And we also don't have really sponsors that help us financially. They just provide a little bit of, as you said, gear or shirts or knee pads or stuff like that. So I hope that in the future, at some point, a little bit of money is gonna go into that. That player who wants to play internationally can do so and are not hindered by the financial, by their financial limits. Because that's really a shame if you can't bring the best team just because it's in Ireland and it's too expensive. But it's good
Yeah,
to
we
hear
need
that.
to spread the word.
Yeah, for
We need
sure.
to spread the word into public to get it more into people so they know what to look for, what to expect, and just make the dodgeball, just like football
Yeah.
or hockey or whatever. Yeah.
That will make that part much easier at least. So you've been playing since 2017, and so you've seen a lot of the growth and the development of the Czech dodgeball scene. You've also been part of the Austrian Dodgeball League for a long time. So what have you seen on the Czech side? Where do we progress? Because from the outside, it seems like you're getting more teams. The league is getting bigger, and there is a league now. There are more regions that play dodgeball, so obviously the hustle of getting together is harder, but still you have much more dodgeball going on there. And I've been at the CEC this year in Czechia, and it seemed like there were a lot of really good dodgeball players there. So how do you feel about dodgeball in Czechia going forward?
So there is more and more teams, but also it's not growing as fast as we would like to. You probably know some new teams from the Austrian league, so that just shows the people that are really dedicated to playing that they have time to do that. Not everybody can do it. So yeah, I've been in a Czech team that goes to Austrian league for like last 5 years. So yeah, we can see a lot of development, not only in like the tactics, but definitely the biggest strength that just keeps growing is the uh, individual strength and individual mindset in the game. We can definitely see that a lot of losses that we unfortunately encountered was due to our minds, our mindset. But now we have a lot of support in our team. We are What we were missing was that if we hit someone, the whole team just cheers up and keeps the mind a little bit higher. That's what we were missing. That's what we are working on. You probably told me in person also that it's just in our heads. Like we got you guys on the Austrian league, and then there is just some new team that just beaten us like super easily. So yeah, the individual strengths and the mindset is what we were working on the most, I would say. Also, definitely the tactics. There is our coaches that dedicated a lot of time into getting us together, getting the team together, and just working stuff out. So I would say this is the main things that pushes us forward.
Mhm. So you said the biggest improvement probably is in the mindset and maybe in the team spirit and supporting each other. Because I feel like you've played in the Austrian league for a long time and you have a lot of really good dodgeball players. And it always seems like if you really click together, then you can pretty much beat anyone. And you've shown that. And you've shown that recently at the World championships as well, where you had a really, really close game against England and had a good game against us in the men's side. So there are those times when it's really clicking, and then you have an amazing team because you have a lot of really experienced, strong dodgeballs who can throw really hard, who can play very aggressive. But then it seems like there is a little bit missing in the end, a little bit maybe of discipline, maybe of of like cognitive presence. I don't know what exactly it is, but there's something
Yeah,
missing in the end to like break that final barrier and win against those
yeah. I
top
was
teams.
listening to the podcast before, and you had some guy from Northern Ireland, and he just said something like, "I love the game against Czech Republic. We just make them look like they've never played dodgeball," and I totally agree. Like we didn't click into the game, as you said.
Yeah.
Northern Ireland just totally beaten us.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's like the
So
thing. Like sometimes even in league you have obviously very different teams that you bring because it depends on which
yeah,
people are available for that weekend, but still sometimes there's always a few good players, and sometimes it feels really easy to play against you guys, and you feel like after a few sets you've cracked the team basically, and then it's just downhill from there. And on other days you're really struggling, you're fighting, you're really clawing for every point. What is the main
yep.
difference there?
It's hard to say. I don't know. If we knew that, we would work this out. But
Okay, so is that something?
yeah, so yeah, the Austrian league is just like usually pretty random people just getting together. But the national team, it's just, I don't know, probably not enough time spent together. Maybe. Uh, as I said, if we knew what's the reason, then we would figure it out.
Okay, so try to figure it out till Limerick. I think you have 5 more weeks to do that. So last tournament on that international stage, World Championships, you played against England with the mixed team. I think in the quarterfinals, right?
Uh, I'm not sure if that wasn't in the group.
Okay, I thought it was.
I'm not really sure. But
Did you play in the mixed team?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I was the captain.
Okay, but as far as I remember it a bit cloudily. But that was a really tight game in the beginning and till almost the
Yeah,
very
the
end,
the
right?
yeah, the first half ended up with a tie or maybe two more points for England. But then it, we our hopes were very high, our mind was very high, and but then we probably just lose stamina. We didn't have more power to play the same game as before,
Yeah.
and England just like launched themselves up and just beaten us by like I don't know 5 6 games.
Mm.
But anyways, the first half was very close. We were very happy with what we seen, and hopefully we'll be able to do it again and keep the strength up in the second half too. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, if you come together as a team once or twice or 3 times before Euros, what are you working on? Like that team chemistry. How do you try to build one team from those individual players?
So we definitely try to do some different situations, like I don't know, 2 players against 4 players, but those 4 players don't have to win or they have to win, just like those different situations. Of course, some team building activities in the afternoon or in the evening. Uh, but yeah, that's probably it. Like drills and just trying to throw together. Because as I said, we are different teams from different part of Czech Republic, so we play a little bit different styles. We don't know each other's game too well because we play together once a year on a international tournaments. And yeah, that's probably it. Like the coaches are just trying to get us together as much as possible.
Do you have theoretical sessions as well where you speak about tactics, or do you do film analysis? analysis.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we do that too. Like, for example, just the last weekend, we had this video session and we watched the game against you guys. Uh, Mostly, we were talking about you, Stefan, because you're a
That's good
beast.
to hear.
And, and so, yeah, we also do the video sessions and trying to just work out what we did wrong, what we did right, and why did I threw the fourth ball again. Uh,
Is
yeah.
that something that comes up sometimes?
Yeah, it's just, well, sometimes it just works out when you throw the fourth ball, but everyone is still like, "Oh, you threw it again!" But yeah, so
So you basically got Flo's role in the Czech team.
uh, I guess,
The
yeah.
role of my brother, throwing that fourth ball and getting shouted at for it, even though he hit someone. Okay, so you've watched the game against us, which was, I think, the quarterfinals as well, right?
Uh, I can't really tell. I
I th-
only know we played. Yeah,
I
I
think
thought
it
it was
was.
in the groups,
No, no, no. You
but
didn't play us in the groups. No, I don't
I don't
think
know.
so.
I don't
I
remember
think
that.
we played Egypt in the best of 16, and then we played you guys in the quarterfinals. I feel like that, but I'm not 100% sure. But you came in fifth, so you must have um, come to the quarterfinal and not won that one. So probably that was the game. So the way I remember it, we obviously knew the team quite well, and we had a lot of respect because you played well, and you obviously have really strong arms and good dodgeball players. So I haven't watched that game back in at least in a long time. So you've seen it last week. What did you guys get from that, and what did you learn from it or try to do better next time?
So, well, it's you guys. That's the first thing that we have to say is the it's you, the world champions. So, well, we weren't really able to hit you guys. You just kept topping our performance. Whatever whatever we did, it sometimes worked out, but usually it was you guys that came from, for example, like a fast situation when there is balls flying to each other all the time. It was usually you that came out in the with more people at the end. Um, I think it was pretty close on the beginning. We might have even be in the lead on the beginning of the game, but yeah, there's just little things, little tweaks that we need to manage. It was also the fourth ball that you kept taking advantage of, and yeah, it the biggest thing is that it's just you guys. You
So
you know, yeah. Go ahead.
but you know us very well. You play against us pretty much every month, so you know what you're up against, and you also know
Yeah, I
that.
know, but
So yeah.
you guys are spread into a few different teams, so there's always some weaker links in your team on the Austrian league. But then you just get those all the best people together, and that's the reason. I know you guys. I play against you guys quite often, but it just it's just that getting all the good people together
Yeah.
and just beating us.
Okay, so next time we'll meet, do you think you'll have a better chance at cracking us or giving us a run for our money with what you've seen from the Czech national training, from Austrian league?
So our coach analyzes you guys quite a bit, trying to learn as much as possible. So we keep getting some hints on what we can do to at least get better against you guys. But it's mostly like knowing what each of the person that you play in your team is doing. Like, I don't know, for example, You just throw at person that you're not looking at all the time, or yeah, that's just those. Oh, sorry, that's just those stereotypes. But other than that, just trying to understand your game, trying to understand what each of your player does, and just trying to counter it.
Okay. Yep. So then what do you think are the strengths of the Czech team? So because analyzing your opponents is one thing and learning from them, and obviously that is something where you can probably learn a few things, but then again it's your team with your players. What are the Czech strengths and what are you focusing on to like play against, especially if you want to come top 3, you got to beat at least England, Northern Ireland, or us. So, what are the strengths of the Czech team, and whom do you think you can most realistically beat of those 3 teams?
So the strengths, as you said, like if the game clicks, then we can play some incredible game. If it doesn't, then the game is not that great. Also, we have 2 great wings, 2 cannons, those 2 tall guys, Schramek and Hibner. Those are our big strengths. Also, the people in the middle are getting more and more agile, being able to move away from those incoming balls. Um, and the tactics, like uh, knowing what to expect from each other. Well, that I was saying that we don't know each other too well, but we we see each other playing on a different team, so you kind of know what the person is going to do, but you just need to cooperate in that different styles of games. So that's it. And I think you had a second question, which I don't
Yeah,
remember.
like your goal is to come top 3, so you probably have to beat one of the top 3 nations and probably a lot of other nations as well. So, against whom do you think you have the best chances with your current team and your tactics?
We were talking about it. It might be England, because in this mixed, we just it was pretty close the first half. We we probably cracked them. Like no one probably expected the game that we delivered. So that might have just break their spirit, and that might be the reason why we did so well in the first half. After that, we didn't get enough stamina or strength to continue this game. So if we work on this, then England might be worried about us.
All right. That would be cool. But I want to play England as well. But that is definitely something because you know us, but we know you guys very well too. So it's probably gonna be hard, and especially with the history we have, it's not so easy to overcome that as well. Like we're basically a little bit in your minds because even if you win the first few sets and get up, you still know it's gonna be tough in the end, and we know pretty much all of your players from CECs, from League, from the last few years. And Northern Ireland doesn't seem to suit you very well. What is it about the Northern Irish game style that is hard to handle for the Czech team?
Well, it's hard to say. uh, it's probably the speed of the game, like the pace, high pace. Uh, yeah, we. I don't really know.
Okay, I, I'll. I think the problem with Northern Ireland, as you said, is that the pace is really high and they're very
Yeah,
aggressive. And the thing is that they are a really good team, so they really know each other. They play together probably more often than we do, and so I think that is exactly like your Achilles tendon where Achilles heel, where you're like really good individually, but as a team there are much more cracks in between. And because the game, as you said before, if you have like that fast game style against us, you always come out on the bottom of that. And I think in
yeah. We
those
might try to
situations,
slow.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. Yeah, I think
We might try to slow them down, but
yeah,
it just they keep their pace and don't get like affected by slowing our pace.
yeah, that's the thing. I think Northern Ireland is really not um tending to accept the other team's pace. So they always put the pace on the game because their communication and their cohesion is so good that the faster the game plays, the better it goes to their advantage. And I think that is something where the Czech team has a little bit of those weaklings. If you speed up the game and you make the transitions really fast, then you get those little tiny cracks and you widen them up. And that's where you get basically your advantages. So I think that is something, at least from the outside, that I would be working on if I was your coach to get, because you have the individual skill, you have all the players, you have really good throwers, you have those big wing players who can get out anyone on the international stage, and you have really agile players in the middle who have also really good throws. So basically, there is not a problem of you being weaker with the throwing or the dodging or the catching or anything like that. So you're strong enough on that regard. But when the game gets a little bit faster, then it cracks, and that's where you can take advantage of your team. So that's at least from the outside my advice. I think what I would be working on if I was your coach to get that a little bit closer together.
Yep. But as I said, that's not easy because we don't have too many options to get together. We don't have too many free time because we also have our own league, the Czech league. But then there is a lot of people that are going to Austrian league. So in the end, you don't have too many weekends that you can do all this together, getting together and just trying to get out our team together. So we're hoping that the Vienna calling is going to help us quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we definitely want to work on some other stuff other than just like getting each other space and just trying to play together.
Mm. Yeah, but I think that's an issue, and that's an issue pretty much every team has because it's so hard to play together, and there is a lot of dodgeball to be played. But that is something where video sessions are really handy because you can do them remotely and you can learn a lot about those little things in between where you may be a step too far behind, where you may be losing the ball in a situation where you shouldn't be, and then you can work on it individually and bring it closer together. But obviously, that's basically one of the success formulas for Northern Ireland and us, that we play a lot together, and that makes dodgeball just so much easier in the end.
Yeah, Northern Ireland is quite small nation in the size of the nation, so they probably have not that hard time getting together and play together.
Yeah,
And as you said, they are a very good team playing together, so that's definitely their very big strength.
yeah, for sure. All right, so like, which other nations do you see for the upcoming years to that you're gonna be fighting against for those third place spot, fifth place spot? Like, who do you think will be also close to you and will be battling for this third place with you?
So as you said, it's always the big three: England, Northern Ireland, and you guys. So if if there is some chance for us, it might be because some of you guys get rid of the other best three teams and just kind of make the way for us into that quarterfinals and all that stuff. But I'm a bit afraid of Spain that
Mm.
just uh, keeps getting better. They beaten us at the Worlds in a mixed game, so that's why we ended up on the sixth place instead of fifth. That
Ah, okay.
was our goal, and so I'm a bit afraid of them. But I also think that they beaten us because it was our last game, and our strength was very low, and that's maybe why they got us at that time.
Okay, so Spain. I've personally never played against Spain. I'm really hoping this year as I get to play them because I haven't seen a lot of them. I know that they're a really good team, especially a really good mixed team, and they played really well against Northern Ireland at Euros as well and came in fourth and really took the game to Northern Ireland. So they beat you at Worlds, coming in fifth. So they're definitely a team to look out for. I only saw them against the US at Worlds, and there they lost like, I don't know how, but like 30 to something. And I was like, okay, I expected more of them, but that was basically the only thing I saw. But obviously the US was really good. So do you think Spain in the mixed, in the men's, who's going to be your biggest contenders? And who outside the top three are you thinking about in preparations?
Uh, Outside of the top three, you mean like who we want to beat, or?
Yeah, and who are you like sort of afraid of, or who are you do you think will be a close contender for you guys?
So the close one was always Italy for us, but in the last few years they kind of changed their teams. Like they got a lot of new people, which didn't help them too much. But I think in the next years, maybe even this year at the Euros, they'll be getting stronger and stronger because they have a lot of young people and they're just getting better and better. So it's hard for me to say what to expect from Italy. It might be tough again. Uh, Other than that, we we also had some issues with Sweden before. Right now, we it seems like we managed to uh, know what they're going to do in the game, and we beaten them at the last Euros, I think. So we are definitely afraid of these two teams also, but as you said, our skill is keep growing, and we might we might not be afraid of those teams anymore. But it's hard for me to say by now.
All right. Yeah. Sounds good. I think I'm always looking forward to the next Euros and seeing what the other teams develop and where how they're gonna turn up. And I think Sweden is definitely one that has been on my list for a few years and hasn't quite gotten there yet, but I think they definitely have the potential to be there. I think France, Italy, as you said, Scotland definitely, maybe Wales. There are a few nations that gonna be quite tough to beat this year. So I'm looking forward to it. So last question that I want to ask everyone is like we talked a lot about the men's, so maybe do this for the men's team. What do you predict is gonna be five of this year's Euros? And then in the end we're gonna come back. So you all went from fifth to first place. You yourself and then we'll see in the end how it turned out. Who was the best guest at predicting?
Sorry, the stream was a bit lagging. So do you
Yep,
want me to say like each place or just the top five
the
places?
top five. Who do you
So
think?
you guys, Austria.
But
Uh,
you order them. So you say who will come fifth, who will come fourth, and
oh,
so on.
order. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. If I predicted totally wrong, I would be
you
fooled.
probably will. Everyone predicts it wrong, but I think it's still fun to see afterwards. Um,
So damn, that's hard. All
mm,
right. So let's say fifth would be Italy.
mm.
Um, Fourth, to be realistic, us, and then
Hey,
the top
you wanted
three.
yourself in third place. You
Yeah.
can believe in
uh,
yourself.
Keep it this way.
Okay.
England, you guys, and Northern Ireland in the
All right.
top.
Okay, so against whom are you playing the semifinal? Against us or Northern Ireland? Who beats you in the semifinal?
Uh, that would be the England, right?
No, you're playing against. If you come fourth, England comes third. You're playing against them for the bronze medal. So you probably you and England lost the semifinals in your prediction. So England lost against us or Northern Ireland, and you the other way around. But okay, let's lock that in. Italy
Yeah.
5, Czechia 4, England 3, Austria second, and Northern Ireland first. All right. That's
I'll be total fool.
well, I don't know if I hope you'll be a total fool. Second place is fine, but I want to win, so I hope you're wrong and we're going to play each other in the final. But that's a long stretch, so we both have a lot of preparation to do for the next 5 weeks. And we see each other before that for the Austrian League final on Saturday, which is in a few days. So I hope you come with a strong team and are prepared to get back that Austrian League title. And
We have some plans. Hope they
yeah,
work out.
that is good to hear.
So
I don't
I'm
know
looking
what
forward.
the KO phase is. I don't know if we're playing each other before the finals.
I think we have to win against Ninjas to play against you guys.
Okay. Okay. Then
So you should be our second team.
okay. So that seems a lot like what was it, 2022? Where you where you came in seventh or something, played against Ninjas, beat them, then beat us in the semifinal, and then beat Spartans in the final. That was the
Yeah,
same.
we were dead last. We were dead last in the table. Then we beat Ninjas with some games to spare. Then we beat you with a sudden death,
Yeah.
and then we didn't lead in the
Final.
Spartans finals game. Only the last two games we won, and that's how we got into lead and won the Austrian League.
Yeah, yeah, that's a story we still talk about sometimes. So that's still a jibe when someone wants
I
to
don't
get
know
at
what
home.
that happened. As you said, it just clicked and it worked out.
Yeah, but you probably should watch that back and get a little bit of confidence before that Euros bronze medal game against England, so that you know
Yeah,
you
don't
don't have to
worry.
lead.
I've seen it like 20 times.
All right, perfect. So you know you don't have to lead to win. It just depends on the last second. If you're making that last hit, that last catch, you're gonna be victorious. All right, see that this has been a pleasure. I'm really looking forward to playing you on Saturday or Sunday, and then again at Euros. Hope you're having a good preparation and no injuries or illness. Keep your fingers safe, and then we'll see if your prediction turns out to be right.
Yeah, I'm also looking forward. Thank you for inviting me here.
For sure, man. For sure. So if your prediction is right, then we'll be talking after Euros again. I'm gonna invite the guest back who has the best prediction, at least for the men's category, and then for the other ones. All right, see,
All right, I
been a
have to
pleasure.
write it down so I don't forget it.
I will have it in the podcast, and I'll write it down there. So
Okay.
it's gonna be there for the ages. All right, see. Take care, man. I'll let you go back to work and get on with your day. See you on Saturday. And for everyone else, keep throwing those balls. Try not to get caught. And take care, everyone.